And we are back. I miss you guys. How is everybody in this new week of March 23rd, 2026? So let's talk about serious stuff, right? Let me ask you something real. If something happened to you tomorrow, would your children be okay financially? Not emotionally, because nothing replaces mom or dad. I mean financially. Rent, mortgage, groceries, car payment, school clothes, daycare, everything. And if you're military, active duty, veteran, National Guard, reserve, or military spouse, this matters even more because military life changes fast. Orders change, duty station changes, benefits change, and life changes. So I understand military family life because I lived that side too as a military wife. I know what it means to plan life around deployments, around uncertainty, around waiting, around paperwork, around FRG meetings. And I'm trying to make sure the house stays standing while one person carries the mission outside and the other carries the mission here. A lot of military wives carry more than people realize. And soldiers, many of you are trained to think mission first, but sometimes nobody teaches you how to think long term family protection after the uniform changes. So, a lot of families think we had military coverage, so we're good. But here's where many people get surprised. While serving, many rely on Service Members Group Life Insurance called SGLI, right? The separation happens, ETS happens, retirement happens, and suddenly the family needs to understand what continues, what changes, and what needs review. Now we know, I mean, if you know, you know, right? That sometimes people have to move into the VGLI, which is Veteran Groups Life Insurance. Some people, some keep employer coverage, some realize they actually need private protection because family responsibilities grew. What do I mean by that? Basically, let's say when you were younger, you got married, you didn't have any kids, and your SGLI, your life insurance policy from the military was just a million. And now, 10 years later, you have six children. I met several people that have six children. I'm crazy, right? That's a family of eight. So, question, do you think that somebody getting the wife or spouse, whoever, gets a policy of $1 million for six kids, how long do you think that will last? Right? So, military wives, do you remember when sometimes the guys were on call and we had to listen to a call at 3 something in the morning, right? Where they do a roll call and then you couldn't sleep afterwards. But anyway, basically, military wives, especially if you have children, ask yourself honestly, if your husband is deployed, traveling, training, retired, or already civilian, do you know exactly what protection is active today? Yes? No? Not what you think is active, not what somebody told you years ago, what is active today. Because children do not pause life because adults assume paperwork was handled. So I remember the first time I met my one of my neighbors, and I met her with her, was it three, four kids? Yeah, four kids. That was like 20 years ago. That time passes by. They came here, they were stationed here in Texas, right? And basically, she had just lost her husband um, while he was deployed in a combat zone. So think about this: a mom just by herself from another country with four kids on her own, right? And sometimes we don't want to think about these things, but this is actually things that happen. I also talked to a family recently where the husband assumed everything from service still cover enough. And then we look closer, mortgage had grown, kids had grown, expenses had grown, but protection had not grown. That happens quietly. Life moves forward faster than all policies. Soldiers understand this better than anyone. You do not leave a mission unfinished. Family protection is also a mission. Uniform or no uniform, DD 214 or no DD 214, active duty or reserve or veteran, like my husband. The mission continues at home. Army or Navy, Marines, Air Force, Guard, veteran spouse. And if you're comfortable, tell me active duty, veteran, or military wife. Because I want to know who is here listening right now. So, a lot of families ask me, do we need a huge coverage? And I always tell them straight up, not always. Sometimes what matters is making sure that mortgage is covered, children have breathing room, spouse is not crushed financially, serious illness doesn't destroy savings. Because some policies today also include living benefits while alive if serious illness happen. But I don't think personally that, and I have to check more on this, that the SGLI covers data. Usually it only covers a death benefit. Go back here. So let me explain something here. So basically there's a family, there's the FSGLI, and then we have, that's one that covers a family member for 100,000 in low cost term life insurance. So, but again, does it have living benefits? I don't think so. So let me check here. So it has for the husband, for the military, it has a terminal illness access. The service member can access up to 50% of the spousal death benefit in cash before the spouse passes away. You have to provide a doctor's written statement confirming that the spouse has a life expectancy of 9 months or less. So benefits are paid in increments of 5,000, and the payment is made directly to the service member. So it doesn't cover traumatic injury protection, while service members have SGLI for injuries like limb loss or blindness. This benefit does not cover or extend to the spouse. It has no cash value. So when you're talking about life insurance, we got two kinds of life insurance. We got a term and we got a perm. The term terminates after 20, 30 years, doesn't build any cash value. The permanent actually grows your money in cash value. But what the government gives military is a term insurance. Term insurance, okay? Now the question is, what is the highest death benefit? Okay. Okay, so let's check that. Because again, we all learn together. Okay, so this is a thing. The highest death benefit as of March 2026 is 500,000. Think about it. That is not that much. And let me explain why. I'll actually go here and do a DIME. Let me get into Abacus and show you this. Let me get in here. Boom. Okay. So let me show you here, share the screen so that you can see. Okay. So I'm just going to do a simple F&A so that you can see why. So let's say that you are a sergeant and pay Army, as an example. You get $3,100 to $4,500 depending on the amount of time that you serve in the military. So let's say that you're making $4,000, right? And this is Jean Doe. He is 30. He wants to retire 65. He is married. His wife is Jane Doe. Because again, and she is 35. And they have 4 kids, okay? Right? So continue. Jane Doe and John Doe. He is making $4,000 a month, right? And the spouse just makes just $1,999, okay? So the net income is that, right? $4,898. Monthly living expenses, right now it's like $5,000. Let's just leave it. Let's put $6,000. They don't have any savings. And basically, let's go. Continue. Mortgage debt, they say that they have a $150,000 mortgage. The credit card is $15,000. The auto loan is $30,000. The student loan is $0. And personal loan debt is $0. Okay? There's no emergency phone. The phone is $1,000. Let's say that they have a $1,000 phone. Okay? They don't have any life insurance. So here is what they should get, right? DIME is debt, income, mortgage, and education. So there's a $1 million gap. So why? Because they asked debt, income, mortgage, and education. So it says that the husband needs $1 million policy and the wife needs $824,000. What is that? Why? So question, if this is what the financial need analysis states, this family is short. So if the husband dies today, if he only has $500,000, right? He is short he's short $500,000. And then the wife doesn't have anything. Okay? So life with need client $489, life with need spouse $490. Okay. And they don't have anything in the brokerage, blah, blah, blah. Nope. And They're trying to preserve. Do they have a will of trust? They don't have any of that. So here is the whole, basically the analysis for John Doe. John and Jane Doe. Their debt is $45,000. The emergency fund is nothing. The life insurance is $0. And then the retirement is $0. So look at all the red. So what would happen if the husband died today? Yeah, you get $500,000, but how long will that last if the spouse has all that debt? Okay. So here it tells you the cash flow analysis, the debt analysis, which is very high. The emergency fund, what is current fund and what is not funded, right? The life insurance. Because usually what happens is that, okay, here it is. This is a permanent. So this is what I do to give a specific review to the family. Because usually what I notice is that the soldiers are covered and the wife is not covered. Now, let me just remove this from here and go back to this. Okay. So basically, if you lose your husband, and now we have people that are being deployed to different places because we are in a war in Iran. If something happens to your husband and that income is not there and you don't work and you have 4 kids, yeah, you're going to get some money, but if you don't have any plan, how long you think that $500,000 is going to last you when you have 5 people in your house? 4 kids and a wife, or 4 kids and a husband, if the soldier is a lady. So this is why I want you guys to think, because at the end of the day, when it happens, and you either are prepared or not. This is actually, let me just show you something. Like, let's just go for a second to Facebook, because again, there's a lot of people. Let me go back here. Okay. This is from October. So I just checked Army Widow, right? Here it is. No, I didn't even know this. Did you know that until last year, if a military widow or widower was in a relationship that appeared to be serious, we could be reported to the government and have all our survivor benefits taken away. So yes, quite literally a widow witch hunt. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let me see. This is a story of a military widow. Said, I was a military wife, proud, supportive, waiting for him to come home. He didn't kill in action at 26 years old. My husband, my future, my everything, gone. I was 25 and a widow. The military life with Bill vanished. I had no identity outside of being his wife. No career, no plan, no idea who I was with him. His life insurance bought me this farm. I think he loved that. He sacrificed giving me a new start. I name it after him. Every morning when I walk on this land, I talk to him. And this is another one. So as you see, there are a lot of people suffering, and it can happen in a second, just like it happened to my neighbor. So at the end of the day, it's good to always be prepared and have a plan, right? But we never know when things happen, right? So that's why I want you to think about these things, because things change when you join the military. A new baby, a new job, bought a house, paid off debts, change priorities, end up moving. So basically, think about that because it changes in a second. Okay? So at the end of the day, be sure that you are ready for whatever. Because I will say that most people are not ready. Now, thank God that the government, that the military actually basically puts all their soldiers in some kind of life insurance policy. Of course, if that person needs a life, if it gets hurt and they don't, they're using part of that. So anyway, just think about this. And if you want to contact me, this is my information. At the end of the day, one day we're here and one day we're not. Okay? So I see you guys later. This is Maricruz News. And see you guys later.
They lace their boots before the sunrise, kiss the forehead, close the door, leave behind a quiet kitchen for a duty bigger than before. They stand watch where the wind cuts hard, under flags that still fly free, sworn against all foreign danger and threats at home we do not see. They stand the line for all our freedom through desert heat and ocean storm, against all enemies, foreign and domestic. They wear the oath, they bear the uniform, and back at home another soldier fights through nights that feel too long, holding down the fort with trembling courage, keeping broken days moving strong. She pays the bills and calms the children, fixes tears and mends the day, answers questions she can't answer when daddy's months and miles away. The car breaks down, the fever rises, the fear comes late when lights go dim, but still she stands without a pause, because love became her discipline. her jacket. No trumpet call when day is done, but every sacrifice made silent still serves beneath the same bright sun. They guard this land in distant places. She guards the heartbeat of a home. Both carry weight few ever notice. Both learn strength when left alone. For
Paper trails thicker than a mystery novel. Cash flow ripple make the banks grovel. Phoenix rise both shut with precision. Generational wealth, that's the mission. Legacy locked, key in the safe. Phoenix flying, no time to waste. Stacks on stacks, building the base. Future so bright, can't see the haze. Securities move, we the pros in the game. Trust airtight, playing no shame. Life insured, annuities grow. Seeds in the ground, now watch them show. Golden wings, soaring high.